on today's episode of Keep It Coming podcast.
Yes, do I think it sucks that people get to have kids and just abort them when like I'm sitting here trying to spend, upwards of $500,000 to have one?
She liked a video on TikTok talking shit about Selena Gomez and her new relationship.
99% of gay guys won't pick a trans girl.
I see a request from him. Send me a photo, pull out, over, on the side.
I love watching monkeys,
The first guy I ever had a crush on, bisexual guy. He had a really hot brother, and he confessed to me that him and his brother would fuck whenever his parents were.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Keep It Coming podcast. It was Shayan's birthday last week, which we will talk about at the end of this episode. But Shayan, I'm really curious and I want to know, why are most trans girls escorts?
They're not.
Okay.
I think you only think that because of me and like the people I surround myself with. But no, I know plenty of trans girls that are not escorts. And
That's interesting
have careers.
because, and we'll fight about it a little bit because I know a lot. I could say a lot too. I could say there's probably, out of like the 100 trans girls I know, maybe 2 of them don't escort.
Really?
Yeah. And by the way, I'm starting a new trans night at the bar on Thursdays once a month.
Exciting.
But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, well, I think that most trans girls are escorts because I just don't know that many that aren't. But obviously, you say something different. So how would you explain the ones that are escorts?
The ones that, well, I just think a lot of times, like, I mean, even when I was transitioning, I wasn't looking to transition to become an escort. It's just one of those situations where I felt like it kind of found me in a way. And it was one of those situations where it was like, kind of like in front of me of like, hey, if you want this or that, it's like jump the line, get into this world, and then you can get to where you need to be faster almost.
Yeah. And I mean, I always thought that it was because, and this is my own personal belief, just because like, the surgeries are so expensive. And like, I've often like looked around and been like, okay, when I walk into like a corporate environment, and if I walk into AAA or the DMV, like I don't see like trans girls behind the desk. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, okay, maybe it's because they're afraid to apply for these jobs because, they don't have, if there's some kind of a standard for it. I don't know. I've always just wondered like, why do I feel like most trans girls I run into either are escorts or have escorted, even the older ones, you know what I mean? Like, I know quite a few older girls that they still are out, slanging pussy.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's tough. And definitely a lot of people, I feel like a lot of times they turn into it where they feel like, oh, I don't want to work a normal job until I get surgeries and feel fulfilled. But ultimately, it's like the surgeries aren't going to, solve anything. It's not going to fix all your problems. It's just something that you necessarily do for you.
Yeah, but I mean, the hormones, before insurance covered them, they were pretty expensive too, right?
Yeah,
or have they always been covered? Or?
I mean, my insurance always covered it. I know there are a lot of ways. Like I know if you work at Starbucks, they have some of the best insurance. Amazon has, and Apple has some of the best insurance for trans people. Those help cover a lot of surgeries too. So, just in case someone that's impressional is watching, like escorting is not the only way. There are many other ways and other routes to go to get to where you need to be, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace. That's
okay. Yes. Something I wanted to talk about, a clip that we posted a while back with Mateo Blanco, which, first of all, Mateo Blanco did call me big in that clip. So fuck you, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. But he had mentioned that if you are considered a straight man and you pop out with a trans girl, it would...
What does pop out mean?
Just, show up with one. I don't know.
Okay. This young lingo, I'm too old for this shit. Going back to what Mateo Blanco said, yes.
What?
No, actually, I don't know. That's tough. That's so hard because there's such a spectrum. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't care. For me, it's like, if you want to be gay, you want to be bi, you want to be a fucking unicorn, be a goddamn unicorn. I don't know. I don't really believe in that. But if someone wants to put like a hard label on it, no, a gay dude would not fuck a trans girl. But that doesn't mean that a straight guy isn't bi if he did fuck a trans girl. You know what I mean? Okay. Right? It really depends on, I guess, okay, how it comes down to, why are you so interested in the trans girl? Are you interested because of the dick? Or are you interested because she's gorgeous and stunning and has like everything put together? You know what I mean? What is the reason that you're attracted to this trans person?
Sure.
That's what would really get it
Absolutely.
narrowed down.
I think that separates what a chaser is to someone who just loves you for you.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. I never even heard the term fetishizing someone until I met you. You know what I mean? And then I saw it firsthand.
Yeah.
Like literally, they only wanted you because you were the unicorn with the unicorn horn.
Right,
That was
right,
it. You know what I
right,
mean? Like
right.
I've met guys who are genuinely straight guys who are attracted to you because you're good looking. You know, you have everything going for them, and they actually, whether you had a dick or not, meant nothing. You know what I mean? It was like you could cut it off for all they care, and they would still just like it. You know what I mean? So I could see, it goes,
and those are always my favorite type of relationships because it's like differentiating between the chasers and then like, okay, this guy actually likes me for just me, you know, and just like who I am as a woman, not the one thing that's tying me to being a man.
I would honestly say, you know, and this brings on a lot more other topics of sapiosexual and whatnot, but like a lot of guys probably, I would assume, are attracted to a trans woman because like you have that male energy sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you have the idea of like you get to be, I have your hair in my mouth. You get to be attracted to someone who like sees you on the same plane of just like the male thought process, but like you have all of the qualities of like a female physically, I think. I don't know. Cause like I've heard that before with like, oh yeah, like they kind of think like dudes where, you know, you could be like best friends with them and like bro out, and like a lot of trans girls, they're just wild, and like, I mean, a lot that I see are just wild and crazy, and they tell it like it is. There's no sugarcoating. There's not that like female bitchy, like, you know, like, I don't know. And I can speak from experience, sorry. But, I don't know. We can get deep on this one. So. Anyway, to bring us out of a deep hole here, Shayan, do you bleach your butthole?
I did once.
I
Yeah.
do remember you telling me that.
Yeah, it was wild. I remember I went to, it was Laser Away, and they had like, I got like a bleaching session. They put this like saran wrap on my butthole, and then I had to go home with it, have it on for 8 hours. But the only thing is I got a chemical burn from it. And I remember I had to go to my high school reunion. I fully had just a full-blown rash back there. But it worked a little bit. Yeah, so
you were like taking pictures of it?
No. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I've not tried it, but I just remember you talking about it, and we never really got to bring it up on the podcast.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's there. I mean, did it make a significant difference? Not really.
Yeah. I'm wondering
But
if it does
it
it bleach like the color from like your natural skin tone, or is it bleach because someone already has like a brown butthole? I don't know. I got to do some research on this.
No.
Like, I mean, what is the significance of bleaching
usually
a butthole,
when I'm
tan,
you know what I mean?
let's
just say when I'm tan, it's all even.
Yeah.
It's all lovely. But when I'm a little pale, it's a little like
really? Like a little like darker?
Well, I just think like like I don't know, I don't know.
I've taken like one picture of my butthole, and like I was very satisfied with it. So I don't want to look at it again, because if I'm not satisfied, I don't know
it's really crazy when guys love to request butthole pictures. Like it's so wild. And what's wild, even more crazy, is I remember I went on TikTok live with this guy, right? And I like, you know, I go on TikTok live and I'll have a moment where I'm like, okay, let me go talk to some trade. And like everyone loves it because they're like, you know, majority of the people following are the girlies, the gays, the days, the trans, you know, all of them. And so they're like, yes, put some trade in. I was talking to this guy, and he was like this Bible guy. And he was so like, you know, talking about the Bible and this and that. And he was being really like shady to me. And I was just like, oh, would you ever be with a trans girl? He was like, no, I would never, blah, blah, blah. He got off the chat. My chat then told me that he was talking shit about me and said that I made him feel uncomfortable.
Oh, wow.
And he thought he was getting SA'd by me, sexually assaulted.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, said it on his live. I go on my Snapchat. I see a request from him. Send me a photo. Butthole out, bent over on the side, shove everything you have in it, and I'm like, you're kidding me. That's cool. So that's just so wild to me, but I always preach that the ones who complain the most, the ones who talk the most shit, are the ones that are hiding the most secrets. Always. It's always the guy that's like, oh, that's fucking gay, man. That's always the one sucking dick. I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, since he's a Bible thumper, I mean, there's always a question I've wanted to ask people. I mean, you probably don't have an answer for this either, but it always surprises me the level of the sin. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I guess I'll sit here and be like, so Shayan, what is your favorite sin? We'll start with that.
Isn't like shrimp a sin technically?
No,
eating
like
shrimp?
adultery,
What?
gluttony. What are the other ones?
Well, I thought
Lust.
crustacean was like part of it.
Cursing. No, there's like the 7 deadly sins.
Cursing is not one of them.
No?
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy is.
Yeah. Blasphemy, adultery, gluttony, lust, sloth. I don't know what the rest are.
Wrath.
But like in what context?
Oh,
though?
isn't
'Cause
jealousy a sin?
Jealousy is also.
Jealousy.
But like in what context? Because it's like
For
jealous
envy.
of like, you know what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah.
it's like
Well, I mean, I guess the reason I'm asking the question is when it comes to like the Bible thumper people,
Right.
you know, it's interesting to me how one sin in their mind will outweigh another sin.
Totally.
When at the end of the day, like a sin is a sin
For
based
sure.
on like the Bible. I mean, I
Right.
grew up religious. So it's like
Right.
a sin is a sin is a sin. You are
Yeah.
a sinner. I'm a sinner. You need to repent. You need to ask for forgiveness. Your sins are your sins. You know, but it's like, it's crazy. Like there's like a sliding scale of like the sin. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like being gay would be the ultimate sin. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you could probably kill someone with your car and it won't be as bad as a sin as being gay almost. You know?
Yeah, no,
It's
for
crazy
real.
to me.
It's crazy
but
how people pick and choose what they think is
facts,
like really
facts.
bad.
And you know what? I don't want to talk politics,
Mm-hmm.
but the ones who pick and choose the most tend to be the liberals. I'm sorry. I have, you know, from both sides of it, you know.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of the Bible thumping people are more conservative, typically.
What do you mean? Oh,
Right?
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, religious itself is a pick and choose.
Yeah.
I feel. You know what I mean? Because there's
I
a
just
lot of
think-
religious people that are liberal, and there's a lot of religious
Yeah.
people that are conservative. More of them are conservative,
Right.
of course. But like,
Right.
I still know a lot of liberals that they still go to church.
Of course,
And that's
yeah.
it. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a whole different topic. We're
I
not
think
gonna go deep
anyone
on
that's
this.
radical anything, radical
for sure.
conservative or radical liberal, I think there's some kind of issue. there.
Facts.
And
100%.
but what's crazy is their fight, it's the same fight.
Yeah, yeah.
But on other sides
It's
of the
so
spectrum.
funny you say this. I was literally making my bed this morning. And I don't know. I had this fucking epiphany. But like when you say that, I'm like, dude, each party will say the same thing about the other party.
sure.
Literally, it's like the liberals tell the conservatives, like, oh my God, they're brainwashed. And the conservatives tell liberals, oh my God, they're brainwashed. And it's so funny. It's like, who did this? Is it the media? Like,
Right.
where did we get to this point in our lives
Yeah.
where we hate each other so much, but we all are fighting over the same goddamn thing?
Literally,
It,
same
like,
thing.
is
Just
so
different,
crazy.
Different, radical on either side. But
Yeah.
that's just what it is. I mean, that's what the world wants out of us.
Yeah.
It's like they want to divide and conquer.
Yeah, I say too much of anything is a bad thing. Even food. Like if you
Yeah.
eat too much cheese, it's bad for you.
Water.
Eat too much anything is bad. There is such thing as too much water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll
if you drink,
drown.
you will drown yourself.
Yeah.
Too much of anything is bad.
Didn't that one
Too
girl?
far right is
Oh,
bad.
I feel
Too far
really
left
for
is bad.
saying
I'm
that.
sorry.
Didn't some
That's
girl
how it is.
die from like drinking too much water because she was trying to like win like free weed or something?
Oh,
Remember
no.
that contest?
I've heard of.
Yeah,
stories
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so wild. I mean,
So.
R.I.P. Queen.
Anyway, that got a little heated. I know we don't talk about politics.
No, but that's
on here,
good
yeah.
because I legitimately was. Again, I don't know why. I've just a lot of the TikTok Bible thumper people have been coming on my live and they want to sit there and they want to debate and they want to scream at me and I'm like, whoa. Like I am just like, and I'm very neutral with a lot of things. So I feel like I was kind of able to have that conversation. But even when they got off of it, after we sat and had this amazing conversation of like them kind of seeing eye to eye with me, they would get off and be like, that's a fucking dude, man. And like talk shit. And I'm like, it just makes no sense to me. Like,
Yeah, for me, I mean, the way I see a lot of things is like if it doesn't affect me directly,
Yeah.
and you guys will probably all disagree with me because like, no, you should need to fight the greater good on both whatever side it is.
Okay.
But if it doesn't affect me directly, I don't put much attention to it, to be honest with you. And I know that's not always the best way, but it's just like, I have a lot going on in my life, like everyone
Right.
else does. It's just like, if it doesn't affect me directly, I don't really care much to like invest into it. You know what I mean? And like this even goes today, like right before we started filming this podcast, I got into a full on argument with my neighbor. Like Shayan had just pulled up, like the neighbor 2 houses down from me, she was getting her car washed. I went over to go get the hot car washer guy's number. So I was like, oh, whatever. I had my dog with me.
At first, I
And-
thought you were yelling at him, and I was like, "What?"
No, I went to go get his number, and like the lady 2 doors down, she's just like an old woman who just is like the stereotypical, just fucking bitchy, always in everyone's business, always nosy, always this on my ass or something, like, and yeah, I just snapped, I literally, Shayan was right there. I went to go ask the car wash guy for the number. And my dog Logan went over to go say hi to her dog, which is like she has like 10 of these little fucking dogs. And she starts freaking out on me. Get your fucking dog. Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, calm down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not that serious. And then she's just screaming, and I just snapped. I was like, you shut the fuck up. I was like, anyway.
Namaste.
Literally, namaste my ass at home.
But no, tying it all back, I mean, I really want to ask people, like, what is the end result? Like, what do people actually want? Because when I sat there and I had this conversation with those Bible thumping people, I said, you telling me that I am living a life of sin and this and that, what do you want from me? Honestly, what do you want? Because I pay my taxes. I'm a good person. I'm a model citizen. I don't steal. I don't hurt anyone. I don't steal anyone's, shit or anything like that. I'm a pretty good person. I take care of my animals. I don't,
You do your best. You do you. You do
I
your
do.
best, and
Yeah,
that's it.
I try. And I'm kind to everyone unless you give me a reason not to be. So what the fuck more do you want out of me?
No, for real.
I really don't get it. And I feel like a lot of people don't really know. But again, that goes on both sides. It's like, what are you fighting for? What is the end result?
No, for
and
sure.
a lot of people just don't know because they're just going what the media is telling them.
Absolutely.
This is what you need to do.
Absolutely.
But then again, that differentiates certain people of like who's brainwashed, who's in that general public zone, and who is actually questioning everything. But I've always been, I don't know, I had a teacher say there's no such thing as a dumb question.
Yeah.
And I've always been the bitch to be like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
ChatGPT, best thing that ever happened
I honestly
to me.
think the reason that we don't talk about politics on here is because neither of us know enough about it to even have decent conversations. And it's so funny because like, if we were to have like a Candace Owens on here or what's the far left, an AOC on here,
Right.
I wouldn't even know what the fuck to talk about.
Right.
You know what I mean? All I know is myself.
Right.
That's why I'm saying
Your
like, I
own
don't
personal experience.
Yeah, I don't get involved
Yeah.
in other shit because like I can't speak on abortions. You know what I mean? The fact that straight people get to spit out babies willingly is a whole nother topic that we won't have. But yeah, again, I just can't talk on these. So
but
it's
even
funny
like
that,
even people that I'm like that are just like, oh, kids and their genitals and trans. Like, do you have kids? Why the fuck do you care what you know what I mean? Like, why is that even part? You don't even have children. You never even been a parent. You're not going to be a parent. So it's like, why? And even when people ask me like, well, what about children transitioning? I did not transition as a child, so I can't speak on something that I've never experienced. As much as like I want people to be able to have a platform to be able to speak on their experience, I think that's fine. I think everyone should be willing to listen to everyone's experience, even if sometimes it can frustrate a lot of people. But I do think I think everyone's entitled to having a voice, I really truly believe getting in a routine of like, I don't want to say prayer or like meditation or whatever it is in the morning when you first wake up and really bowing your head to something that is greater than you and will always be greater than you is very important at removing ego. Because I think if you don't do that, the world will fiercely humble you, or it will give you everything you wanted and sweep that fucking rug and you will gag. And it's like, I feel like so many people put their worth in so many external things, my car, my this, my beauty, my that, all of that can be taken away like that in a second.
Sure.
And then it's like, who the fuck am I? And
So that's okay. So now you kind of put things into a little bit more perspective. So I see what you're saying here. So I guess my response, I don't think as heavily as you do on topics, which is probably a good thing because my mind like literally is like a scrambled egg. But when you ask the question, kind of what I returned it to or revert back to is that the reason I don't think people are created equally is because like there are truly geniuses. There are people who come out of the womb incredibly smart. I don't know where it came from, but like it's not taught. You know what I mean? Some of the smartest people come from the dumbest people. Let's be honest. So it comes down to like, how can you say everyone's treated or everyone is created equally when there are people who come out just so damn smart that like even if they were to take all of that away from you, you can't really take knowledge away. You know what I mean? Unless you get hit by a car and your brain is like whatever.
But what if some people just never tapped into like what they're really good at too? Because a lot of times it's like I don't necessarily think that like
it's like what would be a prodigy then? You know what I mean? Like if you have a 4-year-old that's already graduating like high school, that wasn't taught. That was something that was not created equally. You know what I mean? You even said it yourself that like the trans is something that could be genetic, right? Or I overheard a conversation.
Well, no. I was saying that a lot of people are saying that like, oh, trans is like an experience of like a result of trauma. And I don't think it's a result of trauma. I think it's something that is with sort of that happens at birth, basically. Something that happens whether you're exposed to a certain, the mother is exposed to a certain chemical or something, or medication they're probably on.
So you
kind of
weren't,
affects it.
so essentially you're saying that you were not born equal.
Define equal.
Well, the question was, do I believe all people are created equally? I said no. You disagreed with me, correct? But you just now said that you think that something happened in the womb which would create a child that is trans. So therefore they are not equal. But your question now is define equal. And the way I see equal is you have 100% of the population, right?
Okay.
If 100%, we talked about this before, did one thing or came out with 2 feet, 2 legs, or 2 feet, 2 arms, that would be equal, right? So that means like, you know, if 10% is born missing that leg, they're no longer equal, right? Or wrong? Oh, you have 100 babies all coming out looking, and then one of them looked different or was missing a part or a chromosome. Like,
I
would they be equal?
Or
Or would they be less than? Or would they be special? That's a question.
I mean, in my world, I think when we die, the ego dies and the soul lives forever. So that's just kind of, and I think a soul, there's no, you know, there's nothing that comes.
I guess, yeah, it
with
would come
us.
down to like creation in general. Would it be like creation of the physical self, or would it be creation of the mental self?
I mean, I think of everything
Right.
like spiritually and universe and all that stuff. Yeah.
This would have been a great question for what's it called? Vicky Vox.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. No, for sure.
So
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, y'all. We got a little too deep here.
No, I saw this really cool thing, and it was talking about the universe and how it was like the universe. There is no everything sort of like ebbs and flows together. There's no linear direction of like what it does. It's like there's so many colors and so many things, and it's like if the universe is on so many different spectrums, why do we believe that humans are so one or the other, black and white? Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
Damn, that got really deep. So
Crazy.
let's lighten things up a little bit with story time.
Okay.
So I have a story which you've heard before, but I'm going to tell it to you so that they can hear the story. I am notorious for renting out spaces to friends and people in need. You know what I mean? Like we told the Grinder guy story hookup. Well, we actually have a mutual friend of ours who we love him dearly, but he came into some hard financial situation and he asked me if he could live in the garage at one of my properties. Mind you, in the garage, like the detached garage, no windows. The main door was actually sealed shut because I used to grow weed there during COVID. It was actually like literal black mold on the walls. Like I was just like so against doing this but like he really wanted to stay because he had his job out here and he didn't want to have to move back home.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like talk about subpar living conditions at best. But I said he could live there, you know what I mean? And I put a porta potty in the back, you know. I did put a porta potty, which was outside. And one day I let Logan out to go play in the backyard. And he comes in, and this is really bad. He comes
This is
in.
so bad.
And
I'm nauseous right now.
I'm
so, like,
sitting on the couch. And he goes to like lick my hand and whatever. And I'm like, fuck, it smells so bad. I was like, what is that fucking smell? And like, I'm like looking around. I'm like, God, it just smells like just like shit, you know? And like, I go and I grab Logan and I like smell his fucking face. And his whole muzzle was covered in fucking poop, right? And I go out back and I look. And there are these little tiny little Vons plastic bags scattered throughout the back. We'll come to find out that this person whose name will be said in the Patreon, he was shitting into these bags and then just tying them and putting them outside the door in the garage. And like the dog got into them. And mind you, there were tons of these bags. Like I guess I just missed him. I don't know. And I fucking lost my mind. I was like, what the fuck? I was fucking furious. First of all, why are you shitting in bags when there's a porta potty like literally 6 feet away? You know what I mean? I asked him, he's like, well, it was cold outside and like, you know, I just wanted to like, I needed to just take a shit or something. I'm like, it like it was so fucking crazy to think. Like I honestly, I can't even put words to how mad I was because like I called Shayan. I was livid. I was like, my dog just walked in and his breath smells like shit. I had to give him like
crazy.
baths because like he was licking his fur, was covered in human fucking shit. It was scattered throughout the whole backyard. There was shit everywhere. It reminded me of that fucking Dumb and Dumber movie where you're just like, there's shit everywhere. Like that's all I could think of, like shit everywhere. So that's my story.
That sounds like something that sounds like something in like Bridesmaids or what was it, that Vacation or whatever, when they like swam in the shit. Like, no, that is disgusting.
It was really bad. Actually, I don't even think I had the nerve to talk to him, right? I yelled and he wasn't there and he didn't respond. And I actually picked it all up and I just didn't have, I could not talk to this person because I was like, I'm just going to absolutely lose my mind. Like if you let my dog eat your fucking human shit, and then he licked me with it. And like to this day, it's just mind blowing. So,
and there are people out there that are like, oh, the dog's mouth is cleaner than a human, right?
Yeah,
No,
I actually studied that. I mean, their acidity levels are a little higher than ours. I think it's like double ours, but that still doesn't make them cleaner. It just means they have more acidic.
Yeah, I've seen my dog eat shit. Well, not like human shit, his own shit. Oh my god,
I'm sorry, but human shit just makes it so much harder.
Different. That's crazy.
So I want to hear
actually
a crazy story from you, though, Shayan.
All right, so
I don't know if I've ever heard this story.
You never heard this story? No, I don't think you. I never really talked about this story.
Yay, story time.
I fumbled. I would consider this person an A-list heartthrob.
Okay.
So it was a little after the accident that happened with you know who, and I went out with one of my friends who's a celebrity makeup artist, and he was like, no, come out. And I was so depressed. I was like, I can't move. And he was like, no, Shayan, please come out. It's like, okay, fine. I go, I hang out with him, and he is hanging out with this popular singer. It's this girl, gorgeous, absolutely stunning, loved her, so cool, right? And we like hit it off right away. And she's like, I am talking to this guy. And she was like, and I'm inviting him to come hang out with us. And I was like, okay. He shows up and it was this A-lister. Like I'm talking, I would say he's like Jacob Elordi status, I think. Okay. And he was literally one of the nicest people I think I've ever met. He's so beautiful, so gorgeous, like, and just nice. Like you would never expect that from him. Well, actually you would, because he has a nice online personality. He's just an amazing person. Okay. I'm obsessed with him.
So we're going to hear this person's name or not?
You will on the Patreon. I will say first and last name in the Patreon if you subscribe. So I'm like hanging out with them, and the guy I noticed was kind of taking a little bit of an interest to me. And I was like, okay, this is a little awkward. And I turned to the girl and she kind of noticed it too. And she literally was like, I don't care. She's like, I'm bisexual. She's like, I think both of you are hot. I'm down to have a threesome. Like if you're down. And I was just like, whoa. Literally ended up in his bed. And it was him in the middle, me on one side, the girl on the other side. She climbs over him, makes out with me in front of the guy. Damn. And I really feel like it could have turned into a situation, but I was so depressed and hung up on Rockstar Boy that I just like, I didn't register what was going on. Like this is like every bisexual person's fantasy. Like, and it literally was like, it could have been the hottest thing ever. But yeah, no, I didn't. And I left. And I was like, well, and as I was leaving, he was like, well, let me get your number. Like, we'll hang out, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, maybe. Like, obviously, I want that at one point. Just not right now. I'm too depressed. And got his number and then texted him nothing. We talked for, I think, a little bit at one point, and then it just went nowhere. And then, so I fumbled. This very, and when I've told,
let's just say that Shayan can be her own worst enemy sometimes.
No, literally, I should have. Like, and it's one of those moments where, like, I remember one of my friends telling me, they're like, girl, when you have the trade, you got to pop them when you got them. You really do. Like, if a guy is just fully in the mood, you got to do it. You got to just do it. Even if you're not in the mood, just do it. Because you never know when you'll get that opportunity again. And I pray to this day, I'm like, I want to run into him so bad because I really think I could use my powers to, like, lure him in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what I got from all of that, because I have selective hearing, is Is it?
Oh my god.
Is the saying "you can't rape the willing"?
What?
Is that true?
You can't rape the willing.
Mm-hmm. The only reason I'm saying that is because you said if you're not in the mood and you're gonna do it anyway, just because it's there and it's situational, you're technically allowing him to take advantage of you just because of that person.
No. Whoa.
Right?
Whoa. No.
Right?
No,
you
wait.
literally just said if you're not in the mood.
No, I was in the mood because I was sad.
Oh, I was saying.
But I mean,
you just
anyone
said if you're
would,
not in the
no,
mood, you should just do it anyway.
No,
so
I'm
you're
saying like I fumbled.
because there's always you've heard the saying you can't rape the willing, right?
Sure, yes.
Yeah, everyone has
Okay,
heard that.
yeah.
That's why I'm saying is like
I don't know how that ties into this story.
because you're willing, but like you're not in the mood, so you're not willing. So like, right? Dun, dun, dun.
I'm just gonna do
Just
it.
saying.
There. That's a you're Elastigirl today. That is a reach, honey.
Am I tripping, Jake? Or no?
Yeah, that's a trip. 100%. What the?
Yeah,
Well, because like
that's a
all
little
she was
wild.
saying was she was like, my friend told me to do it regardless, even if you're not in the mood, just to do it. So it's like in my mind, I'm like, damn, if you're not in the mood, I wouldn't like. How are you just gonna do it? You're gonna
She
be
meant
all,
like sad. She meant like she was like depressed, not
No,
like.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
oh, I thought you meant like not horny and not in the mood. Like,
No, I'm always horny, sad or not. But I just was sad. You know what I
Oh.
mean? Like,
okay. Just saying. Can you wait? But is that staying true though? You can't rape the willing.
Elastigirl. You
Now I
can
wanna
answer
know.
that. You can answer
Jake,
that.
is that true?
What?
You can't rape the willing.
Dude, that's a first of all, that's a crazy sentence.
Yeah.
I've never heard.
Yeah,
that
it's
in my
called
life.
role play. No.
What? You know.
Well, well, let's go into the coming in hot segment real quick.
Serenity. All the tantalizing experiences of
Not too much fan.
You will be able to take big dick in your ass. Use it at your local bathhouse. Use it everywhere. Great for gifts. Poppers.
So don't forget to ask us questions across any platform, and we will answer them for our coming in hot. And the first question we have today is from an anonymous person. What is the difference between pansexual, bisexual, and gender fluid? I'm going to let you take this one because I don't know.
Well, gender fluid is someone who wait. Okay, it's someone who
Is it like changing the brake fluid?
I
on the
guess
car?
kind of non-binary, right? You kind of like ebb and flow between your self-expression. That's more
Okay.
self-expression. I don't think that's a sexuality, gender fluid,
Okay.
right? Yeah, I think so.
We
And
might have to
then-
ask ChatGPT this question at some point, but
And then you said
Bisexual
bisexual,
and
pansexual,
pansexual.
and then pansexual is, I guess, what, circumstantial, right? Of like you just fall in love with the person regardless of their gender,
Okay.
they're this, they're that, right?
so pansexual is circumcision.
What? And,
And
then,
then-
bisexual is just like male or female, right?
Okay, so
Like
bi
very-
is 2.
Right. Yeah.
Jake, do you have any response for this one?
Looking up. What was the other one? It was gender fluid.
It was gender fluids, pansexual, so you're into pans, and bisexual is you're into animals.
What? People complicate it way too much.
They really do, honest to
Just
God.
fuck
like,
whoever you want.
these questions are
If
really
they're
tough. 'cause-
over 18 and they're hot and attractive and,
And
not
consenting.
consenting, then yeah, have sex. Like
Yeah,
regardless,
yeah, it's wild.
You will live a much better life. I'm telling you, if you just do live that way.
The next question is actually something I've genuinely been curious about. What is the difference between being a cross-dresser and a drag queen?
Drag is for art,
Okay.
right? So it's basically like self-expression, art, all
Okay.
that, and performance. And then cross-dressing is more so someone that dresses for sexual pleasure.
Okay.
Usually, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. Can they
Pretty sure.
kind of like intermingle or like commingle with each other?
I don't think so. No,
No?
I think
'Cause, you know, I do see drag performances or performers who are like over the top with the huge eyebrows, but then you have like the drag performers who they look like women. So
Okay.
would that be a cross-dresser that just performs?
I mean, there's also like showgirls too. That's also another thing too.
Okay,
Like a lot of
interesting.
times, like trans girls, they don't want to be called.
It's
drag
funny, like
queens.
Sasha Colby performs as a drag performer, but
Right.
she's a trans girl.
Well, a
correct?
lot of,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of trans girls who do perform in the world of drag, they call themselves. Usually, most of them call themselves showgirls.
Okay.
So
Got
yeah,
it.
so it just
Interesting.
depends.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, but I think it's going for performance. It's not a sexual.
Yeah,
thing.
hell yeah.
It-
All right. Well,
but
let us know what your
cross-dressing
guys'
is
thoughts are.
like-
We could be completely wrong on this, by the way. It's all.
Yeah, but
It's all
cross-dressing
opinion.
is like I'm.
These are hard
gonna
questions.
fuck, right?
But make sure to ask us more questions for the Keep It Coming In hot segment. So Shayan, tattoos on a guy, hot or not?
For sure. If they have meaning, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't, I found myself asking this question only because I was at the gym and there was an older gentleman who had quite a few tattoos on his neck and everywhere.
Wow, love
And
that.
in my mind, no, I mean like older. Like he was
okay.
way into his 70s, which
Uh-huh.
yeah, he was like muscular and everything,
Yeah.
but like I kind of like envisioned when he was getting the tattoos and I was like, oh, like this guy was probably like really hot now. To be honest, not so much. I just can't imagine him like me handing my grandchild to them or my son to them and being like, here's your grandpa, and they're staring at him like, what is this? So
Wow.
I guess it's like a generation thing,
Yeah, but I feel like he
'Cause,
probably
like-
has some cool ass stories.
Yeah, but I mean, what's his name? Got all of his tattoos removed over
Pete
like
Davidson.
Pete Davidson. That's
Yeah.
wild. I
Yeah.
mean, I have tattoos. I like tattoos. Mine don't always have significant meaning. I just did them automatically. But,
I'm just gagged how he got him removed so fast because I'm getting my.
well, it seems like it's so
honestly,
fast for us, but he's been like off like in the middle of nowhere.
I've
for,
been
like, 2
doing mine
years.
for like literally like 6 years.
Yeah, but
And
you're also
it's-
lazy.
What? Well, I mean, they say, because the way it works, the way tattoo removal works
Mm-hmm.
is you have to allow your body to metabolize the ink. So it's not necessarily the laser that does it, it needs to metabolize. So
It
I
like
feel like
breaks it up.
there's some new age celebrity bullshit that I don't know about. And I wonder how much.
Adrenochrome.
Oh, okay. And I wonder how much of it is like makeup too. I'm sure they probably threw on some body foundation on
Yeah,
him
yeah,
too.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay.
For that photo shoot. Yeah, because he
Alright.
looked a little bronze and a little perfected. You know? Yeah. I miss his tattoos. I liked him. I mean, wherever he is in his life, I thought he looked perfect before.
Yeah. The T.
Yes. But okay, so I had to write down this question because it's something that's been on my mind.
Okay.
I was looking on TikTok and it said that, okay, I'm going to ask you. Do you think for a relationship to work out, the man needs to be more in love with the woman or vice versa?
I mean, I don't believe in love at all. I don't know why.
Well,
I mean, I know you have a crazy story behind this, so
Well, no, I just think like, yeah, I saw on TikTok and it was like, hey, ladies, like word of advice. Like if you want your relationship to work out, you need to date a man that's more in love with you than you are to them. And that's so false.
kind of like the chaser versus the chasee type
Yeah.
of thing.
I don't know. I think it's false. It did not, because I once dated a guy where I was clearly way more in love with him. And although he didn't go all out for my birthday and he didn't buy me presents and he didn't do this and that and, tell me I love, every single day, he was always there for me just like as a friend. Like we would sit, we would talk. He didn't
Who is this person?
someone. But he would never like necessarily post me on social media and stuff like that. But we would have this really good connection amongst each other. And he ended up, I remember thinking in my mind like, oh, he's cheating on me or whatever. And he never actually cheated on me. But then there was this guy who said he was madly in love with me and told me I love you right away and all this stuff and went above and beyond for my birthday.
Was he a meth head?
No.
Okay.
And posted me on, social media and stuff. But he cheated on me.
Okay.
And so I just think like, I don't know. I think a lot of times it's like how much of that, tying it back to ego, how much of that is just the ego. And maybe the guy is like compensating because he knows he's shady. So he's like, let me like compensate and be like the extra perfect boyfriend. Whereas the guy who's like, I'm loyal, I'm there for her, I listen to her, I don't cheat on her.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that much because I'm there.
Okay.
Right?
There's a lot to unpack there. I think if we're talking about you in this situation, I think that the problem that you have, Shayan, and I don't know if we ever even talked about this.
I have a lot of problems.
No, it's not a problem. It's a problem that you have, not a problem with you.
Okay.
But I think the problem that you have is when you find someone, you immediately go looking for that relationship. When I think that you need to go looking for a best friendship and let it evolve into something. But you like to dive fucking feet first in.
Right.
And that's the thing is like, I really think that for a relationship to work, like you have to establish that friendship before anything else.
Right.
And like Shayan loves to say I love you within 72 hours of meeting someone. Like it's, to me, I think it's crazy, but you guys may, you know, soulmates, twin flames, love at first sight. It's all the same.
Sex, love, and rock and roll.
It's all the same shit, but it's all going to just end up not working out, I think. I mean, you know, I feel like there are two things to make a relationship work successful. And I'm going to rephrase it. There are two things to make a relationship successful, in my opinion.
Okay.
One is honesty. I think that, you know, no matter what, even if you're going to hurt their feelings, you need to be honest. Like everything needs to be honest. Like transparency, honesty kind of go into the same category. And two is personal space. I think that something that's where you kind of have a little bit of a problem with because you like to spend every moment, every day of every second with that person when you meet them. Whereas like, I think it's really important to have personal space. I think that even when you get married, you should have separate bedrooms. I think that the man should have the man cave, his own room, like to just fucking do his thing. If he wants to sleep there sometimes, like that's how it is. Or like wait till you fall asleep and then boom, go into their own bedroom. Like I think that is the best way because it's
I know a few people that are like that. Like, they don't sleep in the same bed.
Not all the time.
Wild.
I think that's really healthy. I think that you know, when you consume, like this is the same thing which I don't agree with people having like join Instagram accounts. Like when you become just a blob of a person, just like morphing into one, like that's not how it should be. Like as you know, as humans, we're very independent creatures. And like, yes, we like, you know, the codependency sometimes, but like, that's tough. To put that on someone else is very difficult. I think. So I don't know.
I know. I mean, I've failed in a lot
I don't even know. What was the question? The question was, I do think it's important to have someone that's a little bit more interested in the other person. I think that's almost how it always is, right? Am I tripping? There's always going to be that one person who's a little bit more into it.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. I don't know. 'Cause two people who are madly in love with each other just sounds gross to me.
Do you like being the chaser or being chased?
Being chased. 100%.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have the time or the energy to chase nobody, nothing at all.
Yeah.
Like I'll do it for a little while. Like it's funny you mentioned that. So I even say the same thing with friendships. Like I'll reach out and ask someone to go to lunch or dinner or like I'll, you know, extend the olive branch to be a friend maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe. Like after that, I have zero interest in that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to chase you. I don't need your friendship that bad. You're not going to add that much value to my life. You know what I mean? Like personally, no, that's it. You get maybe 3 chances. Like fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. I don't know what the saying, whatever. But yeah, I'm going through that right now with someone actually, a bartender at the bar who like, he's really cool. He's really nice. And like at the bar, the dynamic's really good and we get along. We like grab ass each other. He's straight. And I was like, okay, like he seems like someone I'd want to be friends with. He lives nearby.
Okay.
So I've asked him twice already. I was like, yo, you want to grab lunch or just completely platonic, you know what I mean? And both times he said yes, and then Blake failed like the last minute. After that, I'm like, all right, now that's it. You know, now our relationship will strictly just be I'm your boss, you're an employee. Like that's just how it's gonna be. Period. Like going forward. But I don't know. What about you, Shayan? Do you want to be the chaser? I feel like Shayan likes a little bit of a chase.
I like to chase someone.
But you also have a really hard time playing it cool.
I do. And I'm not ashamed of it, honestly. Like I'll let guys know like this is literally who the fuck I am. I'm absolutely insane. And it's fine. But I notice myself, I get very bored easily. Very bored easily. And I've always been that way. Like I'll have an obsession and I'll be obsessed with something and I'll love it so much and it consumes my entire life. And then one day I wake up and I'm like, ugh. It's boring. And then I move on to something else. I do that a lot. I do that with friends. I do that with relationships with boys, all that. I just get super bored easily. So I like a guy that kind of keeps me on my toes a little bit. And although it is terrifying and it scares me and it makes me feel, you know, unsettled, I think a part of me really likes that. And I kind of like chase it like a drug.
She just likes the chaos.
Yeah, I do. I love chaos.
It comes down to
I love chaos.
the chaos of it all.
Yeah. No, yeah. Dissecting all of that of like why I love chaos is it's crazy.
All right. So the next question I have for Miss Shayan say, We're getting deep on this one.
Okay.
If you could change just one thing in your past, what would it be? Only one thing.
I wish I didn't care what other people thought. I know that's really cliche.
No, yeah.
But like I really truly cared a lot of what people thought of me. And it's just like I feel like the more energy you put into that.
She still does, by the way.
No.
Because if you didn't, this podcast would probably be canceled.
I also think I'm going through my own personal evolution, and I'm really figuring out a lot of things about myself, and I'm really figuring out like what kind of person I want to be in this world. And I think before, coming from a place of insecurity, coming from a place of lack of fulfillment, I felt, I don't know, I was unhappy, I was unhappy, and I cared a lot about what other people thought. So in a way, I would almost like mask that by trying to be crazy or wild or this or that. Whereas now I feel like I'm coming to a place where I'm a little more comfortable with myself, and I'm really asking myself, like, who do I want to be? And I really truly want to be a person that spreads a good message at the end of the day, where someone can see that and be like, wow, I resonate with that, or I feel seen with that. That to me is more important than me just saying something really crazy and it going viral. And it's like, okay, that may like pay the bills, but is that really going to like feed my soul? And is that going to
Shayan's been on is that going to age well?
What? Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. I 100%
No, just because
agree.
today, everything we talked about, I love it. You've probably said that statement probably 5 times. Like, is that going to age well?
Is
so I
that gonna
noticed that
age
that's been
well?
sitting in your mind.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's just, it's my personal thing. I mean, we film the podcast once a week, every single week. I am gonna
sometimes twice now.
Sometimes twice. And throughout it, and even watching the older episodes to now, I mean, I'm literally watching myself grow up in front of the cameras in a way. I mean, granted, I'm older, but just like mentally and just where my headspace is at. And it's like, maybe one moment I'm thinking this thing, or I'm diving into this certain part of myself in a way. I don't know, but I've been really taking myself to a very vulnerable place. I was excited because I thought we were going to meet the producer girl for music today. I was really excited to talk to her about music, because diving into music lately.
We'll have her on.
Yeah. Diving into music lately has been really opening up a lot of emotions. Like when I sat down and I said, I want to make music, I thought I was going to like come out with some like fun beat that was going to be like, played in the club. And I noticed when I was listening to a lot of the music, none of it was resonating to me except for the ones that was very deep. And I just listened to the sound and I wrote, and I literally wrote from the heart, and I got really emotional, and I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that to come out of me.
I feel like we have another Adele album about to drop.
No.
Shit.
No, not necessarily
When that
Adele.
song, what's it called? It must have called 1,000 times.
I don't know. And
That
who
was
knows?
Shayan.
Who knows?
Hello.
I might not ever release the music. I just know that this is
I
kind
think you
of
should release it.
a new form of therapy for me that has been really, I've been asking myself a lot of questions. So yeah. And
What's the number one question you've been asking yourself?
Leather
or latex?
no, I guess like, I don't know. That's, yeah, a lot of questions.
I'll ask you one question
Okay.
then. What's the most dramatic change that you had directly after your transition?
Safety.
Really?
100% safety.
Like it just fell off, or?
Yeah. Before being a man, being able to walk to my car at night, not being bothered, this, that, whatever, to instant people, it's your safety is gone. Do you need me to help you, with this or that, or being followed? And yeah.
Interesting. So
your safety goes out the door.
I wasn't expecting that answer, actually.
Yeah.
So a lot of this, you guys know it's not scripted, but some of it I know how she's going to answer. I didn't know how you're going to answer that. But it actually takes me into something that just happened. It just sparked my memory.
Okay.
But Sunday night,
Okay.
I got a text message, and it was from a friend who you know. We'll talk about on the Patreon, of course.
Okay.
But and all it was 911, call me immediately. And I'm
No.
like, shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm at the bar, I'm working. And like finally, I get out and I call, and when I call him, he puts me on a 3-way call with the LAPD, with himself, and with a mutual friend of ours. And he sits here. And this is someone who, he works with the NFL, and he's
Oh, I know
yes.
this.
And he's nothing. And I'm going to tiptoe around this
Right.
because like he may or may not watch this and I don't want to seem like I'm really bashing it, but like this shit was fucking crazy. And like
Okay.
it really goes off the topic of like delusions of grandeur because he adamantly thought that there were people sitting out front of his house watching him because someone happened to have a van a block away, right?
Okay.
He called the police and says that, now that he signed a new contract with so-and-so company that like, people are following him, people are watching him, people are stalking him. And like, he doesn't do drugs or anything like that. He's a very well-mannered, put together person. But like, as long as I've known him, he's always said that, now that he's becoming famous, people are going to be following him. Now that he's becoming famous, people have been watching him. Like now that, his hotel room almost got broken into in Palm Springs and this and that. And like, it comes to like this idea of like, do people create these situations for themselves in their heads because it's something that they've always wanted to happen, or is it something that really does happen? And the only reason I'm bringing this up because you're bringing that up is because safety, you know what I mean? Now that you become a woman, you worried about your safety because you're beautiful and you're gorgeous. Where does it come from for other people though? Do you think that like when they finally snap and they think like, oh my God, the aliens are watching me, the government is fucking watching me. Do you think that it's something that happens because, they become a public figure and they want it? They like kind of, you put it out in the universe and you want it to happen to you. I don't know. So yeah, that brings me actually to a crazy story of something that just happened to me 2 days ago and trying to tie it all in here. But I have a friend, which you know of, and he signed a pretty big contract with the NFL. And he calls me or texts me, at 3:00 in the morning saying 911, call me now. I call him. He brings me in on a 3-way conversation with the LAPD and a mutual friend of ours. And he's like, is a 911 emergency? Like, there are people outside my house. They're watching me. Like, he's saying they've tried to break into his hotel room in Palm Springs. And, in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck is really going on? Are you on drugs? And he's like, not on drugs. So he asked me to go to his house to park in front of his SUV so that he could come out with an umbrella covering him to go to his car because the paparazzi and people were stalking him and watching him. Mind you, this is, I don't want to use the word nobody. I hate saying that, but like this is someone who no one would know about, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But to bring this back around to your situation, like there are legitimate people like Mr. Beast or like really beautiful girls or OnlyFans girls who I saw it firsthand. Someone actually came to the bar and was like low-key kind of stalking you. You know what I mean? And that's a real thing. But then there's people who they want that. You know what I mean? Like this guy who, hasn't experienced that in real life has legitimately created a scenario in his head where paparazzi are following him. Like, you know what I mean? He has probably 10 followers on Instagram and this and that. Like, is that like a delusions of grandeur situation, or is it just he's crazy? Like,
I mean, are you sure he never did drugs? Because it could be linked to, even if he smoked a little bit of weed, it could be
no,
linked
because
to some
3
type
days
of
later,
schizophrenia.
I woke up this morning to a long message, and he still adamantly believes it. He's just like, I'm so sorry. Like, several weeks ago, my hotel room, they were trying to break into it in Palm Springs. And, this is all just leading to just such a big thing that like, I don't know what to do. They're following me everywhere. Like literally it's like almost like a conspiracy. Like the government is following me. The government is following me. But in my mind, I'm like, that's just absolutely not true. You are 100% creating this because this is what you want to happen. You know what I mean? Like he legitimately wants paparazzi to follow him. He legitimately wants to be in the public eye so bad that he calls the police, you know what I mean? And he calls us to recreate this idea of having to like shield himself from the public eye just to walk to his car. It was, I don't know, it's crazy. And I mean, this person is, in his 50s and like, he does really well for himself. So.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. I mean, I guess I mean, with safety, I was more so saying it not necessarily in like a celebrity way or like in a hot girl way. I think just in general, women, that's something that they unfortunately have to deal with in this world is like you lose a bit of your safety.
Interesting.
Why is it that men always have to, like help, let me walk you to your car and let me this and let me that. Like, why do we live in a world where it's like women are literally afraid just to like go to their car at night, And that's sort of something that I had to realize because it did change. And it's like even in relationships or whatever and being a trans woman too, it's like it's so interesting to me how quick men turn violent towards me. And that was what scared me. And for the longest time, I had a little bit of agoraphobia. I had a fear of leaving my house because, you know, I would go to certain nightclubs and I would get harassed or I would get touched. And if I didn't comply, I would get spit on, or I've had a guy pull a knife out on me one time, you know, and it's just so crazy how quick someone can go from saying like, I love you so much and this and that to like, I want to fucking kill you. And it's one of those things where it's like, I never thought I would ever be in one of those situations. And then I was, and it really, really like, it just was crazy. It was wild.
So how did we get over all of this? Was it just a time?
I mean, I don't necessarily know if you ever fully let go of all that and let go of it, but it's just like at the same time, I was just like, I need to live my life and I have to stop living in fear. But yeah, for the longest time, there was a moment there where I did not want to leave my house. And even still to this day, I don't necessarily like to leave my house unless there is a legitimate purpose, because I just never know. People are so unexpected. And I don't necessarily think it's a necessary me thing. I just know that I'm very sensitive to energy and people. And I don't want to, I don't know. I just feel like when I leave my house, it's like I'm opening myself to problems. Or it's like when I'm at home, I'm safe with my cat and my dog and stuff. So
Interesting.
I don't know. It's sad. Yeah, it's fucked
Yeah, I
up.
totally thought the response would be different. I thought you were just going to say you got more dick. Like,
Oh my
the
god!
dick just kind of
no.
flowed in once I got some titties.
Oh my god!
I guess here's a good question then. So you've had a couple modifications here and there, but which one do you think was like your I don't even know how to word this. Which one do you think is like what fully solidified your transition? Like your boob, you know what I mean? Like
probably my boobs.
Your boobs.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just within myself. Yeah. I mean, to some people, they never get boobs and, you know, they do their face and everything else or whatever. Or some people don't do anything at all. I just really wanted my boobs. I don't know why. I just felt like that was what I needed. And it was the first surgery that I got.
Yeah. So you'd say you went under the knife, a man, and you woke up and you're like, fuck it, it's done. I'm a woman. Right? Is that how it goes, or is it still a little bit of
I did a lot of the mental stuff before, but, and then I felt like the timing when I got my boobs done, I was already very validated in myself, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to get this, and this is just going to be like the cherry on top.
Oh, cool.
In a way.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But before, I felt like, I was who I was.
Okay.
I just really wanted that for my own, reason.
So I caught myself saying something kind of, I didn't think it was mean at the moment, but I later felt it was mean. And it was toward poor Miss Diamond at the bar.
Okay.
Which I love you to death, Diamond. But I did say something mean. I still will probably go back and revisit this and apologize to her. But one of our hosts fully transitioned. She had bottom surgery, top surgery. She had a FFS and a bottom surgery all within like the same week. Okay. I she had just come in and she fully wrapped up and got on the mic and started hosting. Wow. And she was sitting inside of the DJ booth. And you know me, I have no filter and I can be an idiot when I say things. And like I have that her and I have a good rapport. But I opened up the DJ booth and I saw the girl that had just gotten all of her surgeries done. And I look at Diamond and I was like, oh God, I cringe at the fact that I even said this right now. But I'll probably send her this as a clip. But I look at Diamond who's standing there. I told the girl, I was like, oh my God, congratulations. That's awesome. You did your transition. I look at Diamond and I was like, oh, Diamond, are you jealous? And like, ooh. I was like, I said it just like, I was like, just being dumb. I just was like, oh, Diamond, like, oh, she got all her surgeries. Are you jealous? Only because I know that Diamond had told me like, hey, I want to get, some stuff done, and like she, she's quick. She turned around, she goes, baby, I'm not jealous of nobody ever. Period. And like she kind of walked past me and I looked at and like she made me feel like this big. But like I like later I was like, dang, that was a really dumb thing to say. But it's just like, you're in the moment, you just say stupid shit. And I'm just an idiot when it comes to shit like this. Well, like, yeah. So Diamond, I know you probably watch this and I'm sorry and I love you. But yeah, I just felt like that wasn't meant to be like a topic to ask a question on, but I really was just like, dang, I caught myself. So if you only had 1 year left to live, what would you do?
Ooh, a whole lot of blow, a whole lot of rock shows, and I'd fuck a lot of rock stars.
Hot.
Yeah. Majority of people, when they answer that question, they would say they would fulfill all of their fantasies and do the things that they always wanted to do. But why do humans have to realize that they're about to die to then start being there? So we're all gonna die one day, right? But why is it that when asked if you had 1 year to live, what would you do? Most people respond with they're gonna do everything that they've always wanted to do. Why do you have to know that you're about to die to then start living your life?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I feel like it's all about perspective. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, people just don't like talking about death in general. You know, it's like that saying, like, 120 years from now, everyone that's living right now will be dead.
Right.
Period. Like, no
For
matter
sure.
what. Like,
Yeah.
no one's going to live forever.
Everything.
No one likes thinking about it, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just because, you know, the fact that you said it yourself, you know, buy hookers and this and that, but that all takes money. And people are going to sit here and they're not going to amass a bunch of debt if they're going to have to continue living with it.
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
or the consequences.
yeah, you don't have to live with your consequences. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, everything you're saying right now will probably lead to you getting AIDS. Let's be honest. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, and then you have to live with it for the rest of your life. Whereas like, oh, you have a year to live. Who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? Condoms go out the window and that's just it. It's like all bets are off.
Yeah, I guess. I guess. Or like, I mean, I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh, I would do this, or I would do that, or I would finally like tell someone I love them, or I would let everyone know that I fucking hate them.
Yeah,
or some
I mean,
shit.
it's like your true self. You know, I think that the funny thing is, you just said it right there, is like everyone would be their true selves and everyone would be honest.
Yeah.
You know, people have such a hard time being honest. It's so, we talked about this on other episodes where it's like every movie you watch would probably end within 5 minutes if someone would just be honest. Like every movie you watch, it would be so crazy. It's like, instead of don't go in there, it's like, hey, if you go in there, you're gonna die. Oh, the movie's over. It's like, don't run upstairs because the serial killer is chasing you. You know, they're gonna run upstairs anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, people have a hard time being honest about things.
Yeah. No,
But then
for
when you realize that there are no consequences, then you got to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. For sure.
These topics have gotten so deep today. It's crazy.
Okay, pop culture moment. Are
Oh,
you
God.
Team Selena or Team Haley?
She tried asking me this earlier, and I was just, in my mind, Selena Gomez was in Wicked.
No, that's Ariana Grande.
She was quick to correct me, but and then I don't even know who the other person is, to be honest with you.
Justin Bieber's wife, who he
Love
also
Justin
has,
Bieber. He's hot.
who he also has a child.
I actually
with.
love Justin Bieber in his homeless man looking era right now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like living for it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so what happened?
I've actually
He has a
never
wife?
had Bieber fever for some reason. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It never did it for me. But no, yes. So basically, he was dating.
She's
so,
in we're teaching moment right now.
Okay, yeah. So Justin Bieber
Yes.
dated Selena Gomez.
'Kay.
Okay.
Who looks identical to the Wicked girl.
No,
Okay.
she's her own person.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
She's from Wizards of Waverly Place. You remember that
Absolutely
show from
not.
Disney? Okay, a little. Okay, so they were dating, power couple, right?
Got it.
He breaks up with Selena. 2 months later, is with Haley.
Got it. Wait, how long was he with the other one?
I don't know actually.
Okay. Because they say that the amount of time that you're with someone, it takes half that time to get over them. Unless you're Shayan.
Yeah, no. Situationships are different than full-blown relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships play out. Situationships, you always wonder what if. So
Mm.
that's what I think. But no, so then he moves on. But Hailey Bieber, although she got the ring, she got the kids, she got everything, has
But you said Hailey Bieber was a stalker.
basically,
Got it.
yes, she was a huge fan.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically was like the fan that won Justin Bieber.
Okay.
And like low key, kind of single white femaled Selena Gomez.
Okay.
Okay. So she got the ring, she got the baby, she got it all.
Mm-hmm.
But yet she is still a low key hater, even though she got everything. And she
Okay.
just moves really weird. And it was so bad. Haley was getting bullied so bad from people, from the Selenators.
Is that what their names are?
That, I guess so.
Okay.
That even Selena Gomez took a photo with her to help her deal with the bullying. But then shortly after, she liked a video on TikTok talking shit about Selena Gomez and her new relationship, saying that Haley was the one who won. So I'm like, girl, you're just so weird a bitch.
Damn.
And she's trying to fight with this TikTok creator and say that it wasn't real and it was all fake. And I mean, this bitch had receipts and was like, don't try to backtrack. And that's also like another thing. Like, you just have to, if you fuck up, you gotta stand 10 toes down, girl. Like, we see it. The receipts are there. It is what it is.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I just think out of all of that, I mean, my head hurts. But I think what's crazy is the amount of attention that people play on the likes of things. I don't know. It's crazy because like I like shit just because like it depends on the moment. You know what I mean? I'll find myself liking some crazy shit. Like I watch a lot of videos where people like die, and like it's nuts to me to see the news kind of circle around like, oh my God, Hailey Bieber liked something. I'm like, bitch, what if she was drunk?
But she liked a video of it talking shit about Selena Gomez, saying that Haley was the one who
I mean, what
won.
if she was drunk? What if she liked in the moment?
I guess.
I don't
Someone
know.
needs to take her phone
It
away.
is a trip. Like the liking situation is wild because like Shayan is Inspector Faggot over here, and she will find out if you like something, if you do this. I've never, ever done such things before. And like, if I went through what I like, oh my God, you guys would probably think I'm crazy. Like,
I just like, I want to know someone's intentions.
yeah, but does liking a video mean that that's their intention?
Yeah.
No.
You took time and, well, not even time. You double
You literally
tapped that.
scroll and like sometimes like, this
So
is.
to me, liking something is you wholeheartedly agree with what is in front of you, or you're attracted to what's in front of
that's
you.
tough.
Yeah.
I'll like something just because I want to see a little bit more of it because of the algorithms. Like I love watching monkeys jerking off, and it's so funny to me. And so my entire feed is like little monkeys like jerking off on people. It's the craziest thing because I'm like, they're like little they're like humans that are hairy, and they just people think it's cute when a monkey sits and just jerks off, and it's so weird to me. Watch, if you go through my For You page, it's wild.
God.
It's monkeys like jerking off, and I send it to all my friends. But like I like them because it's like I'm gonna send more to my friends. Doesn't mean I'm like I don't know. To me, it's just like you like something. It's funny. It's dumb. It's in the moment. Like I don't know. I guess like as a woman, you think so much more into it. Like I'll just like just dumb shit. Like a guy will sit there and be like, "This shovel is shoveling," and I'm like, "Oh, that's fun." Like what the hell?
No, I'm very strategic with what I like, for sure.
I want to see your For You page then.
It's all
my
hot
gosh.
guys and puppies.
Yeah. Mine is probably going to be like monkeys or like animals, like pulling things out of animals' noses and shit.
my God.
Like,
Let me see mine.
I don't
real
even
quick.
know, but I'm surprised I don't have any monkeys on here.
No
Mine's
monkeys
all like
jerking
cars and like, yeah, the monkey jerking off videos
Oh, see?
whack me up.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I saw that one before.
Wow.
6'5" is too short for Shayan.
No, 6'5" is perfect. Wow. Yeah, that's basically my hot guys and
Oh, mine's puppies though. Look at this cute little
oh, that's cute. So okay, so Lucy Hale,
Got it.
Pretty Little Liars. Okay, she had I think a complete 180. Got sober, very like put together, regal, serious actress, right? Harry Jowsey, he is like a fuck boy from like I think Too Hot to Handle or something like that, and he's like known for being like a little player. But he has a charming personality. He's tall. He's very sexy. He has a little Australian accent. Gets the girls going. But so many people are very just confused by what that dynamic could be. But when I first moved out here, I lived with a girl whose sister lived with Lucy Hale. And I remember her being the wild and crazy girl she was before she got sober.
Right.
So I remember like going out with her and she was insane and a good time. But yeah, so that's another pop culture moment. But
Go for it. Talk all about it.
I mean, no, that's it. They're just the dynamic between
I don't know why. I mean, one of the questions in our notes from a while back was like, do you get starstruck or something? I just don't. I'll try just for the sake of the podcast. I will try to scroll through news, but I always end up on like
monkeys jerking off.
Wow. I don't. That doesn't hold my attention.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm very much business oriented. So I mean, that's why we were talking about like Shayan wants to launch her own page where where she dresses as.
Oh no, that's the top secret.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's top
Okay,
secret.
top secret. We'll talk
Okay.
about it maybe on the Patreon. But we both thought about building our own pages up because
Right.
The way, the topics that we're engaged in are so different. You know what I
Right,
mean?
so
We
far
can talk
different.
about trans issues. Yes, we can talk about gay
Right.
issues. But like, we don't talk about politics, but everything else is like, I'm very business mind oriented. So
Right.
like what holds my attention is like business, money, finance, cars.
Yeah.
What holds your attention is the pop culture, the
Right.
what's in the now, which I don't fucking nothing of it. And I try,
Trends, all
but
that
God
stuff.
dang, if I need to put myself to sleep, I would read like a magazine on pop culture. Like it would immediately put me to sleep.
Yeah.
I will say though, actually, if you want to talk about pop on, you probably haven't even watched it. This is why it's so
What?
different. Have you seen the new White Lotus episode?
No, I haven't.
Girl.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, now I could feed this shit to you, but you need
Okay.
to watch it though. People are going crazy
Yeah.
over it because they're two hot brothers and the brother jerks the other brother off. So everyone's already seen the episode, but yeah. And like people are talking about like crazy, but yeah, it's very brotherly love and yeah. So
That's weird. The first guy I ever had a crush on, he was like this like bisexual guy. He had a really hot brother. And we one time got drunk together and he confessed to me that him and his brother would fuck whenever his parents weren't home.
yeah, I fully think that's a thing with twins. I have like this
So
like crazy
wild.
thing that I think that twins, because I dated a set of twins and I know for a fact that they were fucking. Like,
It was so
because
wild.
one was the top and one was the bottom, and they had this weird ass relationship. And I was like, the way y'all found this out was because y'all fucked. I already know it.
It's so crazy. Whoa. And it takes place in Thailand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your theory on men saying, I love to go to Thailand because of the beaches?
Ooh, it's tough. I mean, I believe it.
You believe it?
Yeah.
No, I think you want to go to crush some ladyboy pussy.
I don't know because I'm not into ladyboys.
Oh,
But
wow.
it is cheap. You do get a massage for like $4 American, and they do come with happy endings. So whether it's a ladyboy or not, I don't know.
I think
I don't really have a theory
I
on
discovered.
it. I love Thailand.
I
It's
discovered
an amazing
recently.
place.
Yeah, you like it?
It's awesome. The beaches are really actually amazing, and it's like 85-degree water. It's like nuts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But let's hear what you think.
Well, no, I discovered recently that I do think being a chaser runs in the family. And this is how I know because I dated a chaser once and he confessed to me that his dad loved to frequent Thailand. Okay. And then this other guy who I dated, he didn't know he was a chaser yet, but I could tell in his eyes that he was about to be a chaser.
Oh my gosh.
I could
Okay.
see the evolution of chaser in his eyes. And he also told me that his dad and his uncle would
'cause-
frequent Thailand.
Yeah, and I mean,
a
if you look
lot.
up to your dad and you see like oftentimes like if a dad is into like old cars, the son is into old
Well, they
cars.
don't know what their dad is doing, but they just said
But you
like,
know.
oh, I mean, they always come with the same excuse. Thailand has really great beaches, bitch. I'm so tired of that excuse.
interesting.
It's a false excuse. You are going there for a purpose. I'm sorry. I
Interesting.
see it.
You never know. I mean, there are plenty of ladyboys.
Oh my God. I don't know. I personally don't think I could date a guy that frequents Thailand. It's just not-
Well, damn, that was a wild episode. You guys got to learn a lot of deep shit about us. But if you want to see even deeper stuff about us, make sure to head on over to Patreon where we pretty much give all the information and there will be names and what do you want to call it? A behind the scenes
Sure.
for the Keep It Coming Exposed XX edition.
Yes. Anyways, that's all, folks.
If you want to see more fucked up shit,
make sure to like, subscribe, and comment.